shit up.
How's it going, everybody? It is the Cincy Stripe Show. You're back with Colton and Jordan. Without Eric today, he is unfortunately sick, and then without Gary, he's at the police academy up until January, so we'll probably be without him for a little bit. But it's been a little bit since about 2 weeks since we've had our show. But figured today, yeah, it's a good day to be back. Kind of a free Saturday. College football ain't what it is.
Yeah.
And plus, we've been setting up the studio. As you guys can see, it's not completely done yet. We're going to hang probably a TV up on this wall and figure out to get that Ken Riley jersey more visible. But, we're not that smart. So,
yeah, for sure.
Also, soundproof in the room a little bit. You can get the lighting fixed. But, we're just learning. I didn't even get the Joe Burrow signed helmet out of the sleeve. That's how much I didn't even think about it.
I didn't realize that was what was in there.
Rookies at this. We're going to recap the Panthers game, talk about some injuries, talk about the Baltimore Ravens and how they might rush for 200 yards on us.
Yeah.
But I doubt it's going to be like that. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. But back to the Panthers. I was surprised a little bit by
which part?
How good our offense looked off the rip. I mean, they weren't looking too bad the previous weeks, really, besides the Patriots game. But I feel like they've really found an identity with the 12 personnel with Eric All.
For sure.
And Eric All led the tight end in snaps, and it wasn't Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, no, I think we had like Gesicki receiving yards. And
we Gesicki 25 plus, yeah.
And he was every time it was just Eric All. It seems like I hope they find a way to utilize both of them. I do think when we get into the preview of the Ravens game, I do think we will use them more this week with the way Burrow was sounding and stuff. Like he was making comments this week about how he's going to have to be perfect and go off this week. But we'll get into that when we get to the preview. But I thought the offense looked good. I mean, they looked good in Washington with no punts and stuff. I thought they picked right back up where they were. T was heavily involved early on. Jamar was involved, but like most of his yards was that big catch and run touchdown he had, because he had like 80 yards and that touchdown was like 60 of it. So, I mean, they were trying to get Jamar the ball, but you could tell it was definitely a T. Higgins game. I love the way they utilized Zach Moss and Chase Brown, like a mix. They both had 15 carries.
I love how Chase Brown runs.
Yeah, Chase kind of using Zach Moss as your power back the first like couple downs, and then Chase Brown will come out with like an explosive shot out of a cannon. You've seen a bunch of people say on Twitter, and like we think, and like it's just a good mix, and that's kind of how the NFL is going nowadays. It's the two running back system, just having a good mix with like the David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs and the AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones in previous years and stuff like that. It's just I love the way we're utilizing Zach Moss, but yeah.
I like how they both run. They're both, especially Zach Moss and Chase Brown, have both been looking really solid since we started. And we do have our other special guest, Gilly, as a weekly.
The Cincy Stripes mascot.
Yeah. He's just along for the ride with us, aren't you?
Fun fact, Jordan did want to name him Cincy for a little bit. But
yeah, Cincy was going to be his original name. And then my wife wanted to stick with Gilly when we got him from the, I don't want to say pound, but...
It was a shelter.
Yeah, well, we got him from the shelter. His name was Gilly, and she really liked that name, and I like the name too. He's just looking at us at the doorway. But Cincy, I always wanted to name my first dog Cincy, but Gilly's all right.
Yeah, I love it. But the offense looked great, like we were talking about the line. Mims has looked very good.
Mims looks more than good, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for not practicing as long as he did with the pec injury. I think if he can keep it up, he's going to be all-pro type tackle.
I love it.
Kind of like a Tristan Wirfs a little bit.
When
he's super athletic.
When we made the pick in April when we were live streaming.
Yeah, if you go back to my reaction,
we were all like, "What the?"
It wasn't a pretty reaction by me.
We wanted. I don't even remember who we wanted, but Dallas Turner was still available, but no, he wasn't. He had just taken right before us, but that's who me and Gary wanted, was Dallas Turner to help out Trey, and we kind of see why now. But
Who did I
But
want?
Mims is such a better pick.
Dallas
man.
Turner is a
I don't remember who
good.
we were wanting at the time. Once
What's he
we were
been
on the clock.
doing?
Dallas Turner?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think he's
it's a name
been
I haven't
playing
heard
well,
in a
but
while.
he's in that Brian Flores defense though. And they're playing well.
Yeah,
But
everyone on that team's playing well.
speaking of defense, our defense, I mean, we let Andy. I mean, they put up 24 on us. Juice got cooked. Got benched
Yeah, he
for a
got
little
benched,
bit,
which
you
he
know.
which was good. By I was
I'm glad, and he said like after the game, or it was like he said that's what they should have done. Like, and Lou kind of said it's like whoever's playing better, or
Mhm.
like maybe not playing better, but if like Juice isn't playing well, like he wasn't, they're not scared to just take him out and put DJ Turner in, and
DJ Turner played with a lot of heart.
it's good to have this
A
depth.
lot of heart.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm glad we have this depth. You know, I'm glad we got our first win.
Yeah, it was super relieving because that was kind of like all the pressure during that game was this has to be our first win. You know, like we need a win. We can't start 0-3.
Oh, yeah, 0-4.
Yeah.
Right? We're 1-3. Yeah, it would have been 0-4.
Yeah, we couldn't start 0-4. I try to forget about that Commanders game.
Yeah.
That Commanders game was my least favorite game so far. Just 'cause we didn't get one stop that entire game, and it just wasn't pretty.
And usually when you put up 33 points, you should.
Yeah, that's another. It was super frustrating, and
defense just couldn't get a stop.
Having to wake up at 5 a.m. the next day for work after being downtown till 12, 1 in the morning. It's
everybody
just not fun.
at work was giving me crap because they're all like Colts, Bears fans.
Yeah.
Like,
I got a Dolphins fan at work, Browns fans.
They're all like, "What happened? You guys are 0-3. Thought you guys were gonna be good." Because I was like, "I think we're gonna be good this year." Like before the season started, and they're like, "I think you guys will be too." And then this start happened.
I thought we would. Truthfully, I thought we'd be off to a 4-1 start.
Yep, I think our whole pod.
Like that's why I thought I think my first loss for us would come this week against Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Rethinking about it right now, Baltimore is not really the team I thought they were. Looking at some of their games, they struggled against the Raiders, and they kept it close with the Chiefs. Could have beaten the Chiefs if Isaiah Likely didn't wear a size 14 shoe.
I mean, realistically, they could be 4-0 right now.
Yeah,
like they were like I think it's one possession every loss they've had.
But I mean, and then they beat up on the Cowboys for a win. And I'm like, the Cowboys don't really look that good.
They're 2 wins, but then they spanked the Bills.
Then we lost to the Patriots. That was watching the Patriots play after every week is like
we really lost to that team.
It's just every day. It's just wow, we really lost to them.
I don't really understand how, but it happened.
Yeah,
they went run heavy, and there's Ramondre Stevenson, who had 100+ on us, is now benched. He's now their backup.
Yeah, he's a fumbling problem, which he didn't fumble against us.
Nope, he is now benched. I wish he would have pulled a Dalvin Cook and fumbled, and we could have got a touchdown to win the game, but nope.
The Chiefs game,
they were too busy going for the strip.
Our offense wasn't to its complete strength that Chiefs game. Defense was. I feel like we definitely would have beaten the Chiefs if we had a healthier team. I don't want to pull injuries in the factor all that much, but I mean the Chiefs just don't look that good this year. They really don't. They got to be the worst undefeated team right now.
Worst undefeated team since that 2020 Steelers team.
Yeah. I mean,
and they beat us. It's not throwing shade. It's just their defense has been looking great. They just won last week against the Chargers, 17-10. It's like their offense isn't really. Mahomes isn't playing like the Mahomes we like.
Mahomes is not even looking that top 10 quarterback right now.
It's just that their whole offense was him and Rashee Rice
and
Pacheco before, and now Pacheco's out for
they kind of struggled against the Chargers a little bit, and the Chargers are not that good of a team.
They started down 10-0.
Yeah, Mahomes threw a pick his first drive, which Mahomes has 5-6 picks this year already.
Yep, something like that. He threw two
I think
how many he threw against us? 1, 2. Yeah, he threw 2.
ADG and
I think he's thrown pretty much 1 in every game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's 2. That's like 5 or 6,
and they're bad picks too. That's not like they're lucky picks.
Besides, the juice one was kind of.
Well, that wasn't a lucky pick. That was still a bad decision by Mahomes. He still covered. I wouldn't say bad decision because it was 1-on-1, but
he was just trusting his guys.
Yeah. while I'm thinking about it, if you guys do notice, we do have a new logo and we did rebrand a little bit. We are selling merch just with our logos on it for right now. We are coming up with shirt ideas for like legacy receivers and stuff like that for people to wear. That's like not just our logo. But as of right now, for the next month at least, all of our profits will be donated to the Red Cross for hurricane relief. And if you don't want to buy our merch, I still recommend donating to the redcross.org/NFL. I noticed that the other day during the Thursday night game, they were talking about it. Just a lot of things happening in our country that, so especially with that hurricane. I mean, people need to step in and kind of help with that.
I mean, for sure. I have family down there. My Papa Norman.
Yeah.
He lives down there. Luckily, he's not in like the big part of it all, but they said like the wind and stuff's all crazy. And
I've been seeing a lot of stuff about other Bengals fans having family members down there and, brothers like not being able to get in contact with and people in hospitals and shit like that. So that's just, I mean, we just want to do a little part to give back.
Yeah.
Not even just give back, but just help,
Just crazy. Like we're praying for everybody. Hopefully everybody's family's okay. But
yeah. It's a tough time.
Yeah.
When you get that big of a, obviously us being in the Midwest doesn't really affect us other than the couple of days of rain we had, but it's major down there and, everyone should chip in. I've seen, I think someone over here in Harrison, Ohio, someone took a big trailer down of like cases and cases of water.
That's awesome.
Stuff like that's awesome. When you see stuff like that, just donate anything you can to them. Just tough situation. But on to the Baltimore preview. I don't like what they did against the Bills.
No.
I don't like what I watched that game and instantly just my heart sunk. Doubts start to sink in, and I'm like, the Bills, I would say they're kind of a fraudulent, winning team right now also. But
their defense just isn't that good. Like they've been playing well, but
if Josh Allen isn't Superman, then they're not winning
for sure.
So they have a tough team to kind of win with.
I mean, the keys for me, obviously, stopping the run,
tackling.
I mean, they said that their keys to their winning and their success is obviously just going to be going heavy in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry probably 15 to 25 touches depending.
Look, I'll truthfully, like I say this every year. I don't care if Lamar throws for 400. Let him throw.
Yeah,
make him throw.
Make him throw.
Because if you make him throw, he's going to give you 4 to 5 turnover-worthy balls.
Yeah, and what's sad is I was like looking at the Bengals Ravens preview on here, and their leading receiver is Isaiah Likely, and he had 100 and something week 1, and he has 187 yards. And
he hasn't touched the ball.
Yeah,
they haven't been pass heavy, and everything they do is kind of behind the line of scrimmage, pass wise, and it's stayed like that. They're just
a lot of Justice Hill, like Zay Flowers screen to try to get him in open space and stuff,
which hasn't been working. In another key, if you're going to have, you have to have Dax or DJ Turner on Zay. You gotta match. If
it's Juice, they're gonna be doing what Andy Dalton was doing to him with the double step. They're gonna be telling him to, because I don't know what it is. Off the release or something for Juice.
I don't know what it is either, but I need DJ Turner or Dax Hill to step it up this week just because it's the speed that kills. Obviously, we went against the Chiefs and played fine against Xavier Worthy, but he is a rookie and he is learning this league and he isn't quite there to his potential. Zay Flowers been in this league. Obviously he was star-studded last year. Coming in this year, he's their number 1. So, I mean, that's another thing to look out for. Derrick Henry, I mean, I thought he was dead the first 2 weeks of the season. He's
one of our best corners against Derrick Henry.
Mike Hilton is probably Derrick Henry's kryptonite.
They called up Jalen Davis, so it's him or Dax, I think they said.
If I see Jalen Davis on that field over Jordan Battle, Dejon Anthony, Josh Newton, anyone else, I'm going to be pissed. Jalen Davis, I don't know how he
got cooked in the preseason, man.
That man gets cooked anytime he's on the field.
Yeah, it's like.
I'm not trying to be a straight up hater here. That's just how it is with him on the field. That's like when I see Sam Hubbard go out on the field, I'm like, ain't no pressure there.
Well, they started moving him inside.
Yeah, if you move Hubbard to 3 tech, and you have Cedric Johnson, Trey Hendrickson, and kind of rotate
I'll be
around. You're good.
surprised to see how much with all of our D line help coming back. I'm curious to see how much they move him inside still, or how much snaps he gets with Miles being back. And they said Trey's going to be still playing. So.
I'd guess McKinley's going to play.
McKinley
this week.
And we're going to get BJ back.
Truthfully, my guess is for the draft next year. I would not be surprised if we take end first round, no matter what.
That's the only reason part of me wanted Dallas Turner, but he got taken the right pick right before because I thought the Falcons were going to take him at 8, and then obviously
they took Penix.
So because I thought that was a big need for him, but they traded for Judon. But that's why me and Gary wanted him. But then obviously the tackle need is obviously very important for us. And now
obviously you look at that,
Brown, now that Trent Brown's out for the year,
and I'm glad looking at it, we knew going into the season as soon as we signed Trent Brown, we all talked about it. He's going to get hurt.
He hasn't put. What is it like?
I don't think he's ever completed a full season healthy.
Yeah, that's
fully healthy. He wasn't practicing when he first signed with us. He took a while to get going. I'm like,
he looked good, but
he looked good up until he got hurt. I will say he was finding a groove, which does suck. But now we don't have that tackle depth. But it sucks losing that week 3.
Tackle now?
Ford, Kirkland. Ford or Kirkland. I mean, it's kind of whoever you feel comfortable with in the situation, I guess.
Well, just hopes everybody stays healthy.
Yep.
The line looks really good. Because that's how people talking about it on Twitter, because Jesse Bates made a big play in that Falcons game and was like, man, what it'd be like to have Jesse Bates?
Get over Jesse Bates?
Like, do you want Trent Brown do you want Orlando Brown or Jesse Bates? Because that's where that
Jesse Bates is the girl you dated in high school.
Yeah.
Bro, get over her. Yeah. Move on.
Because that's where that money went, is Orlando Brown, which I'm glad.
Orlando Brown's having a career year.
That's what I'm saying.
Now. So
it's take your choice.
I love Jesse Bates. I did.
I still love watching him. He's a great player. He's going to probably be an All-Pro again.
He's a guy you want to see succeed. But we can't just keep saying, lose a Jesse Bates merchant. He lose this, lose that because of Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates is an All-Pro player. Do not get me wrong. But he did not completely make our defense.
No.
Our pass rush with Jesse Bates made our defense. And, we cut Zach Carter, thank God. I mean, he had over 100 snaps this year and didn't win a single.
Pick him up.
He didn't win a single pass rush snap, which is unbelievable.
I think he had half a sack or something, or a sack.
I don't know, but the stats I saw the other day, he didn't have a single pass rush win. And that was kind of like where Sam Hubbard was kind of lying too, and especially against the Commander. Sam Hubbard was last in depth for closest to the quarterback. He was 6 yards away from the quarterback on average. And that can't happen. That's why I want to see Les Hubbard out there unless he can kind of get it going. I know he's fighting back from a hamstring or whatever his injury was.
Whatever the excuse is.
Yeah, it's
because they didn't come out with any of this injury news until after he started sucking 2-3 weeks into the year.
Yeah.
And now it's
it's not like the news just came out. It's that they started using the excuse.
Yeah.
For him, which I'm like, dude, he just sucks.
He's trying to work through the injury.
There's
originally it was we're coming into the year. Last year he was hurt, and that's why he wasn't playing as well. And now it's
unfortunately there are just times where you have to move on from a once good player.
Mm-hmm. We're still living on that Hubbard yard dad.
That's the problem with Cincinnati, and it's like that with Von Bell right now. It's like we all want to see more Jordan Battle. Everybody wants to see
Patty Mahomes in the playoffs to take us to the Super Bowl.
Everybody's
still remembering on that. So,
but you can't hang up on it.
You got to put Jordan Battle in, man.
Yeah, at some capacity.
People, I know since it's gonna be run heavy, I wouldn't mind seeing I know it's not gonna happen. Seeing more of Jametta.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
John Meadow, yeah.
John
Meadow. John Meadow, yeah.
I know it's not going to happen, but like if they're just going to go,
there was a point where I wanted him over Pratt. Pratt, I mean, he's just not looking good this year at all, in my opinion. I don't care how many tackles you have. Tackles are an overblown stat.
Yeah.
Same as I'm starting to get that with PFF grades. The more I look at PFF grades and the way I watch a player's performance, I'm like, that doesn't really line up with how they actually played.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, you know what I mean? It's just things like that. And another thing, like I watch all these like Chris Canty and a bunch of other sports network guys, going off about how Joe Burrow can't lead his team. And I'm so tired of people looking at stats and just not watching the film. I mean, you have to watch these players play. And that's the big, like Patrick Mahomes. Like I saw something earlier that's like if Patrick Mahomes didn't have Patrick Mahomes' name, he would not be on your fantasy team.
Nope.
He would. He's the 15th
really
quarterback.
I was about to say he's really not that good of a fantasy quarterback
this year.
This year he's just winning them games. Well, that or their defense.
Them as a team, they're a well-oiled machine that
they just win.
Yeah, it's this Andy Reid. He knows how to win, and that's kind of my nick with Zach Taylor a little. I love Zach Taylor. I don't want to get rid of Zach Taylor, but there's some things that coaches have and other coaches don't. Andy Reid's one of those coaches that will find a way to win almost any time with any obstacle. As Zach Taylor, if there's a small obstacle, you're not looking to win. Other than, I mean, let's face it, Joe Burrow is the reason why we've won over these past few years. Jake Browning played lights out in a couple of games. People kind of are
the Jacksonville game. I mean, he sucked his first game.
People look at that Jake Browning shit, and it really pisses me off. I'm like, he honestly didn't play that good, in my opinion. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
he won us games, but it's not like people think he's like great.
Yeah,
he looked great in Tennessee because Will Levis sucks.
Jake Browning for Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, I've tweeted that a few times. Like, hey, Brian Callahan, you need something. We need something.
We let Boyd walk. Not really.
You bench Mayo Boy, and we take.
We gave you a Woozy. We gave you Boyd.
Yeah, which Boyd? I mean, he changed his Instagram profile picture. He's not a Titans uniform anymore.
He changed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's just funny stuff.
It's like things that people will be like, "Oh my god,
yeah." And people are making jokes on Twitter. They're like, "Oh, Brian Callahan's on that Zach Taylor shit," because he said we're sticking with Will Levis no matter what.
They're tanking, bro.
And that's just a Zach Taylor way. It's like we're not going to bench players. I was actually surprised we benched Cam.
They'll win more games with Rudolph. They want to lose.
Rudolph looks decent.
This is what's going to happen. That's the same thing that happened with Zach. Their first year, they went 2-14 in the first year.
Yeah, we benched Andy Dalton.
Yeah. Like they want to suck, so we got Joe Burrow. They're gonna keep losing with Will Levis, and they're gonna get whoever he wants. I don't really know who Brian.
When we bench Andy,
there ain't no way they're going into next year. Yeah. There ain't no way they're going into next year with Will Levis a quarterback.
Oh no,
Brian wants his guy.
No,
this isn't his guy.
And truthfully, I think Brian Callahan's looking more towards a Carson Beck or maybe a Quinn Ewers.
I don't see him putting up with Shadur's antics.
That's like where I kind of.
That's a lot of stuff. A lot of things you're dealing with Shadur.
If you want with Shadur, what Shadur needs to do is kind of tell his dad to shut up, and let him do him.
I mean, the one game against Nebraska, he went in like 3 minutes till the game was actually over. Man went to the locker room, like that kind of stuff. It's like,
and there has been times where he's went at his linemen, which I guess if your line's like that bad, then we'll talk more other sports in a second after we finished on talking about the Bengals and Ravens. But the keys to
my other key was
speed.
Speed. Mine was 7, not 3.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, that's another thing with Zach Taylor is he will put up 6. He'll rather put up 3 than 7.
Yeah, we need 7, not 3 against.
Which then again, when I do that shit in Madden, it bites me in the ass. I did it earlier in our playoff run with the Jaguars. We rebuilt the Jaguars. Don't do it. Trevor Lawrence's contract is horrible. I'm telling you right now.
Won the bowl though.
We did win a Super Bowl, but it's not the point.
It's not the point.
The point is that I guess he kind of plays it too safe sometimes, especially against the Commanders, because we should have went forward on the 4th.
Yep. 4th
down. In hindsight, I guess, but what are you gonna do? Those are just little adjustments that he can make throughout the season, and it seems like, and people kind of like we're like, oh, Burrow and Taylor, aren't on the same page. They are completely on the same page.
Yeah.
They're both great for each other. I think we'll have a successful team. And if Lou doesn't start picking it up a little bit, his seat's going to be pretty fucking hot, in my opinion.
Which it should be. I mean, they're going to say injuries. Our team's been hurt. All right, most of our guys are back, so we better.
I just don't give a shit.
Is our defense going to look different?
It's not even injuries, but like when you have Hendrickson dropping back in the coverage, sometimes you have Hubbard dropping back in the coverage. You're just asking for mismatches, and in the Patriots game, that really showed.
Running backs are fast tight ends.
It really showed in. That defense does work against Mahomes. I don't know why it works against Mahomes, but it works against Andy Reid and the Chiefs. I don't understand why. Nobody understands
against
why.
A rookie, he throws for like 260 or something.
Well, give props to Jaden Daniels. I mean, that dude looks excellent. I'm not saying he's next coming of a healthy RG3.
Here's a big test this week against Cleveland.
Truthfully, look, I'm going to get bashed for this. I think Jaden Daniels at the end of this year will be better than Lamar is right now.
All right, I wouldn't say that right.
No, I don't like Lamar.
What? I don't like.
I don't
him
think
either,
Lamar is
but
good.
Lamar is what, 2-time MVP, or is it just one? I mean, I know I'm a Lamar hater too, but
You cannot bring up his MVPs.
I mean, you can't.
They are the most fraudulent MVPs I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not a Lamar guy either, but
Let's look up Lamar's MVP year.
to say, I mean, I thought Baker had better stats than Lamar last year.
Dak Prescott should have won
Or
MVP
Dak,
last
yeah,
year.
Dak, it was Dak. I mean, I think Baker had great stats too, but I'm saying to say Jaden Daniels is already going to be better than Lamar.
Yeah, I think he will. Yeah, I think he's that good of a talent.
You think? I mean, I think he's a great talent too.
Lamar had 3,600 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, and 7 picks.
But to say Lamar,
he was sacked 37 times.
I don't know. Just saying that
he had a 36.5 first down percentage.
I mean, he doesn't even really look that good this year. He just runs the ball a lot.
That's the thing. But like,
it's annoying.
Josh Allen and Dak Prescott, I think should have had votes over Lamar.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's again, people look at that running factor, and it's just, I don't know, man. I
don't know why. I hate running quarterbacks.
But it's like MVP should really playoff stats should come into account for MVP.
Yeah, they need to wait till the end of the year.
Because if they did that,
like they do in Madden. Not till the Super Bowl.
If they did that, Lamar would never win MVP.
Well, I guess that's when they announce it anyway in real life.
Like, did you notice? Like during the Chiefs game, they tried so hard during that Chiefs AFC Championship game to get Lamar to pass the ball and win. They tried way too hard.
Yeah, they went
and
away
it failed.
They went away from what they do, and that's run the ball.
They wanted to prove that Lamar can win without his legs.
Weren't they up?
Oh yeah, they were.
They
held the Chiefs to 17 points.
Yeah.
If you hold the Chiefs to 17 points, you should win automatically.
Yep.
I
mean, the Chargers last week held the Chiefs 17.
Yeah, that's the Chargers though.
No, I know. I'm saying if you're Harbaugh, like you're up 10-0.
Yeah.
Go to what you do best and run the ball and run the clock. Just keep the ball out of Patty's hands.
I don't know.
I was like, oh, here we go. Chiefs gonna get their first loss. Harbaugh is back. Nope. Blew it. And that was without Rice missed the game because Rice got hurt by his own guy by
Mahomes. Yeah.
They still haven't really confirmed what it is. He's still got to get checked.
I know. He's seeing those doctors over in Germany.
Is he?
No, I'm just saying that because I saw a lot of people say, like, oh, we need to go get our players checked out over in Germany. And they're like, nah, dude.
Yeah.
McCaffrey's probably out for the year.
Yeah.
But Darks Gaming official, which I believe is Stanley, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it is.
How we doing, Stanley? I haven't seen you in a while, bud. He said, I know offense is doing great, but if it came down to it, would you guys rather have Joe Burrow call the plays? A bunch of teams are letting their QBs call the plays. There have been drives where Burrow has called his own plays.
Like that Titans playoff game.
Because the mic went out and were successful drives.
That was a great drive.
Successful drives. It's a little really people really don't do that often as people would think, but it does happen, and it most of the time it does end up in the offense's favor.
Yeah.
Just because I mean the QB, like you have a QB like Burrow and Mahomes and Allen, like those type of guys. I'll give props to Lamar. I mean, he has a pretty good football IQ when it comes down to it. You have guys like that who know how to read a defense or read a field and read the advantages and disadvantages and the momentum. It kind of your quarterback kind of has more say and knows what to do. Sometimes especially with the Bengals. I'm not knocking Zach again, but there are times where we check the ball down or the route concepts are pretty bad on 2nd and 10, or we run the ball on 2nd and 10 or it's 3rd and 10 and we got to make a push. And sometimes the concepts just aren't there. Sometimes, not all the time. Zach has gotten better with it. But look at the first 3 years of Zach Taylor's offense, it was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like the concept and schemes and everything was bad.
For sure.
I'd say this year has been the best so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like our scheme's been really well. The checkdowns this year have been strictly on Burrow, just being happy feet, looking down. That was really against week one against the Patriots. That's just about it with the play calling of Burrow. I think it should be a mix and mix. Sometimes if I was Burrow, I'd be like, "No, my mic's not working."
Yeah,
I can't hear you. I don't think you can do that. I don't know if you could.
Part of me wishes we were in need of a head coach. Like, I know we're not going to fire Zach Taylor. Like some people thought, like if we keep losing or something, someone's going to get a great head coach when they get Ben Johnson.
Oh, for sure. That
I want Ben
100%. 100%. Again, like I love Zach Taylor, but if we were able to pull off a guy like Ben Johnson, and I'll be honest, like I tweeted it a few times. If we could just bring in Belichick as an assistant, somewhere, this team automatically jumps. And I know there's a lot of negative shit about Belichick with how he coaches and whatnot. He's a 6-time Super Bowl winning coach. His winning percentage is off the charts. You can credit the Brady or not.
Yep.
But he knew how to run a team. I mean, he just did.
Yep, that's for sure.
I mean, he's the reason why so many nobody players have names in this league.
Ben Johnson's going to make Trevor Lawrence look good next year.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Doug
Peterson's going to be fired within the next few weeks, I would say.
And that's not that bad of a spot. Trevor Lawrence, he's shown.
No. We rebuilt the Jaguars.
I mean, it's just his contract. He's not.
Trevor Lawrence's contract's the only negative part about that team.
Like Trevor Lawrence, it's just Doug Peterson.
Well, Doug Peterson was hired specifically for
trying to help develop
Trevor Lawrence. It's like, we saw what you did with Carson Wentz a little bit. We know what you can do with quarterbacks. Kind of what Frank Wright with Bryce Young.
Yep.
We kind of hired you to, be the guy to kind of develop Bryce Young. Organization didn't give him a chance. Understandable. I don't think Frank Wright was right for that job in the first place.
How he was fired so quick.
So quick, but he deservedly so. He was.
I didn't think he was that great of a coach. But not in Carolina.
He wasn't even that good of a.
Andrew Luck helped him a lot.
Yeah,
right?
it's just.
I think he was in the Luck era. Was he not?
No, I don't think so. But Doug Peterson, I mean, he did a lot of great things with the Eagles.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. You just can't expect a guy to rebuild your team when he's there specifically for one reason.
Yep.
And I'm off the Trevor Lawrence hype train. I've been off of it for a while. Truthfully, everyone hyped him up as the best prospect since Peyton Manning, and all these guys, and it just wasn't there for me. I like Trevor Lawrence. He's a good guy. I just don't think he can really take a team to the promised land because he's not consistent enough. And Stanley again said, I also heard someone suggest we get Max Crosby because he's a great pass rusher.
I mean, he would be great on this team.
Oh yeah,
not gonna happen.
People I've seen a few things because the Raiders are kind of not tanking, but a lot of people want to leave because of Antonio Pierce now,
which is crazy.
The reason why they hired him
is because
it's because they had what was his name? The year they went to the playoffs against us. Their coach. Their coach that was there for the playoff run. They had. Rick Sasha. They should have hired him off the gate that year, and then they kind of saw that with Antonio Pierce and didn't want to make the same mistake. So, and you keep starting Gardner Minshew, you're not going to win games.
That's what I think is part of DA's problem. Is DA wants Aiden O'Connell?
Probably
because that's when. I don't know if you said you didn't watch the receiver, but in the receiver, they showed when Jimmy G was quarterback, DA was not happy at all, and he was wanting to leave.
Well, would you be happy with Jimmy G?
And then Aiden O'Connell became a starter, and he started getting more involved in the offense.
I like Aiden O'Connell. I think he'd be a good quarterback. Yeah. I do.
And he was loving it in Vegas, and then he was starting to
And my problem with Antonio Pierce right now is that we've seen what Gardner Minshew can do. He's good enough to win you some games, but he's also bad enough to lose you a lot of games.
Yep.
And that's kind of like where I sat with Jake Browning last year. Jake Browning is QB2.
Yeah, we thought we were going to get like a top 10 pick.
Dumbass.
Once
he was winning.
Got out.
He started winning. I'm like, damn, dude.
I mean, after that Pittsburgh game, we were like, all right, we are going to get a top 10.
I was like, hell yeah, dude.
It was just only Pittsburgh he sucked.
Sometimes as a fan, you have to cut your losses and move on to next year.
Yep.
Even during the season. And I don't want to call myself a couch coach, but I do look more into depth than others. Not as much as like Joe Goodberry. Go to him if you want real good ball knowledge. Not me for sure. But I do like studying quarterbacks and stuff like that. And mechanically, Browning's just not there. I don't know why we're talking about Browning again. I don't know. It just clicked in my head. I'll get off that.
Talking about
But back to Max Crosby.
He would be great on this team with Trey. Him and Trey would be a nasty duo.
Stanley said he may sound dumb. You don't sound dumb because actually me and Colton talked about it.
And it was on.
We talked about it a few hours ago. We would love it if we could do it. Don't get me wrong.
Bengals aren't going to give up a bunch of draft capital.
That's the thing. The Bengals are one of those organizations that refuse to give up draft capital to build a winning team this year.
Yeah.
But if we beat Baltimore
Because I think the proposed trade, like someone had made on Twitter, was like Jermaine Pratt and a couple picks. It was like a second, thirds. The Bengals aren't doing that.
Not at all.
Bengals don't trade their draft capital.
Especially with a guy like Pratt.
Yeah.
I'm not that big of a fan of Pratt, but I like Max
Like,
Crosby,
even in that
but it ain't going to happen.
When we traded Billy Price for BJ, it was like Billy Price. And
But BJ Hill sucked before us.
Yeah. That's my
Sucked
thing.
before coming here.
Yeah.
And Max Crosby is going to be great if he stays on the Raiders. If he leaves the Raiders, wherever he goes, he's going to be great.
And the whole reason they were thinking about not trading DA, even though he wants out, is because they think they're trying to make a playoff run. I mean, it's super early.
You ain't making a playoff run.
I don't think so either, but that's why I want.
As a coach, you have to say that.
Yeah.
As a coach, you have to be.
But I think Max
truthfully, coaches are trying to win games. Yeah. They really are. But
I think Max is one of those guys, though, in that locker room. He's like one of the big. Obviously, he's one of the biggest leaders in that team, so I don't think they would trade Max.
No,
and I think they just paid
he's too big for the organization in a whole. I mean, if you want to sell tickets and shit like that, I mean, Max Crosby's your guy.
Yeah,
that's kind of like when they with the whole Khalil Mack stuff a couple of years ago. It was kind of like that. I mean,
I guess they did trade Khalil, but Max is still in his prime. Like Khalil Mack is
Crosby still.
I mean, I guess Khalil Mack kind of was. He was still younger.
Yeah, I think he just came off like a 20 sack season or something. Yeah. Like he was good.
I don't know.
But I would love it if they would. If we would,
we just know the Bengals.
I like Miles Murphy. I can't wait to see what Miles Murphy does.
We trust the guys we drafted. The guys in our locker room. That's just
we hold on to guys that we drafted for way too long.
Zach Carter was a 3rd-round pick.
I had a little panic attack seeing that we picked up Brad Robbins. I knew we had to pick him up to cut him. I didn't know that. But something inside of me was like, dude, Zach Taylor's just going to let Brad Robbins kind of compete for his job back, isn't he? And that's kind of like where I was,
because that's how they had put it on Twitter. It was like Brad Robbins is going. Oh, it was because he was right. He had just been elevated from the injury. Because I think you have to activate him off the injury thing before you can cut him. That's why.
Yeah, you have to activate him to the active roster. So
people were like, "Oh, so they're going to continue this punting battle," but nope. I'm glad they made the right decision.
We waved him. He didn't wave back. That's cool with me. I'm glad. He was not a very good punter with us. I wish him all the success elsewhere he goes, but with us, he was just a horrible punter. I mean, he was just bad. It's quite frankly his fault he's not on this team anymore.
Yeah.
It's not Ryan Rico. It's not because Ryan Rico performed as great as he did. I think truly Brad Robbins he wasn't making the cut.
No.
That's why we brought in 2 different punters.
Yeah, we had draft. No, we
had a McNamara.
I thought he was going to be the one that was going to be good. But
I was super happy about him.
We didn't even see him in a game.
No, not at all.
There must be something like in the training camps and stuff that Darren Simmons didn't really like.
Yeah, Stanley says, I know Joe wouldn't do it, but if he could take a pay cut or make it less each year, we could get more crazy players. Even if Burrow did do that, the organization itself ain't going to do it.
Nope.
We haven't even paid Jamar.
Yep.
I don't want to get into this whole rant. You can't say you're going to bend over backwards and approach a player. They approached Jamar about his contract and not do it.
Not finish the deal.
Especially when you're right there on the 1 yard line and you won't move up. Like guarantees a year. In a year, you won't move it up.
Nope.
That's just being a greedy organization, and that's just trying to make sure you win the deal. And that's the problem with the Bengals is their ego, and the front office is just ego. We have to win the deal. We have to win the trade.
Yep.
Every time.
Yeah.
Like, why?
It's like in fantasy football, the trades, like
cut your losses.
Everybody's offering you like crazy trades because they like the crazy lopsided for them because they think you'll accept it. It's like, bro, I'm not winning anything in this deal. So I don't know why the Bengals think that way. It's just how we ran, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bad part of how this organization's ran because the Jamar deal should have just been signed. Period. Yeah. Should have happened. Mike Brown said it in July. We're going to bend over backwards to sign Jamar. And then they approached Jamar about signing. And then they don't get him signed.
Yep.
That's on you.
Now we're going to go into next offseason. Everybody's going to be like, time to talk Jamar deal again.
And again, back to the whole Jesse Bates thing. You did not pay Jesse Bates so you could pay T. Higgins. And now you're refusing to pay T. Higgins. I don't know exactly what T. Higgins is asking for.
I know.
It's probably
You're seeing a lot of these teams sign both their receivers.
It's probably a lot
Tyreek
more
Waddle,
than what
AJ
we
Brown,
think.
Devonta. Like, why can't we have both of our receivers?
I mean,
like a 3-year deal.
And part
like
of
Jamar, I want his 4 or 5. What, like 4. What have they been doing? A lot of the receivers have been doing what, 4?
Yeah, Jamar would do a 4.
Like 4. Yeah, so
it'd be a 4-year deal.
Jamar do a 4. Higgins do like a 3.
But the thing with Higgins is he wouldn't do a 3.
Yeah.
Especially with David Mudalega. It's got to be 4 or more. And it's
It
just,
sucks. 'Cause,
but you see what Pittman has the same agent.
Higgins is gonna look good in the Tennessee Titans uniform next year.
Don't say that. He ain't going to Tennessee. He ain't going back home.
You don't think so?
No.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna have money to spend.
a lot of teams are gonna have money to spend next year.
That's true, including us. But we won't spend it.
No, we won't. We won't.
No, we won't.
And that's another thing. We would have saved $14 million if we just got that Jamar contract done this year.
Mm-hmm.
Saved $14 million. But now next year we got to spend that $14 million.
Yep.
Just back contract, especially when we have a depleted D line. We refuse to sign DJ Reader. Dumbasses.
Yeah.
He was your key to this defense.
Oh, he ain't gonna play in the beginning of the season. He missed like a game or two and didn't really play much in the second game for the Lions, and then had a sack this past week.
Yeah, it's not even just that. It's just who he is in his presence on this team.
They're too worried about the injury. They don't think he's gonna be good. He's over.
But like
he's
he didn't even sign for that much.
But another one of my keys to winning, I had caused some turnovers. You know, in both games we won one, and the Chiefs one where we were super close. We had 2 turnovers. I think we had pick or maybe 3. No, I thought we had a fumble recovery or something too on the Chiefs. Maybe it was just 2 picks. I don't know. We had turnovers on the Chiefs. Last week we had a pick on the Panthers. On Andy Dalton. Our keys to staying in the games is our defense causing turnovers.
Yeah,
obviously should be like any week, but
that's every week for every team.
Yeah,
it's just winning
but especially for us because
just winning the turnover battle. Period. Winning
win.
time of possession and winning the turnover battle is every team's keys every week. Doesn't matter what team it is, college, high school, time of possession and turnover. Ethan said Ethan's game, Chiefs game, 2 picks and a fumble. Yeah, I forgot who fumbled. Was it Rasheed? Not Rasheed.
That's what I couldn't remember. I thought somebody had fumbled, but
maybe Pacheco.
I don't know. It probably was Pacheco.
Burrow fumbled in that Chiefs game. I know that. That kind of cost us the game. That kind of cost us the game right there.
They walked in.
Fuck. Just don't want to think about it.
Burrow's, besides that fumble, his first pick was last week.
Ethan said Carson Steele. Ethan's a ball of nowhere. It is Carson Steele.
He should be our reason.
That pick, yeah. On that Panthers pick, I mean, it wasn't anybody's fault. It wasn't Joe's fault. It wasn't Jamar's fault. It's just miscommunication, and it happened.
I mean, wasn't the scramble play where he thought.
Yeah, it was a scramble. Yeah,
so,
Jamar was over on this side. He thought Jamar would be continuing
to the goal line.
He would cut back. I don't know why Joe thought he would cut back, but he thought he would cut back.
Jamar kept running to the goal line post, right? Or not the post, but the
opposite. He went to the opposite side of the field of Burrow.
Yeah.
I don't know why Burrow thought he would continue running opposite side of the field of him. It doesn't make much sense. But that happened. Whatever. We still won the game, which we gave up a lot more points to the Panthers than what we should have.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Andy Dalton.
Defense, that's why.
It is Andy Dalton, though. So, I mean, he's going to give you those games. Andy Dalton's going to give you those games.
I might just put Bryce back in Panthers and tank for more people.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with the Panthers, too. Like, I don't even know why you're trying to win.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you playing for?
I mean, you're playing in your locker room, Canales, first-year head coach. But, I mean, if you're not riding with Bryce, tank for your guy that you want, I guess. Because you're not going to rock with Andy next year unless you're letting Bryce just sit the rest of the year and think he's going to be better next year.
But they said they weren't going to sit him for the rest of the year.
Oh, really?
That's my problem. Why bench him at all?
Yeah.
Why even start him?
Let him keep playing and learning and stuff. I don't know. It's just a whole confusing situation.
I feel bad for Bryce at this point. But then again, you watch Andy with this offense, you're like, okay, Bryce, you just suck.
Yeah.
But then again, Bryce Young is 5'9", 5'10". He can't see over those linemen.
Yeah. What wasn't it like the Panthers, Reich or whoever the head coach was at the time wanted freaking Stroud?
Oh, Frank Reich wanted Stroud.
Yeah, Reich wanted Stroud.
Yeah, the ownership wanted Bryce Young, and he wanted Stroud.
Yeah.
Dummies.
He's dumb now. Reich is probably laughing.
Probably. I would be. As soon as they fired me, I would have been like, CJ Stroud, balling.
Yep. Now look. All right, Jordan, I got something for you.
Hold up. Stanley said, do you guys think they might let Burton play this Sunday? Who knows? I don't know.
I hope so.
I sure hope so, but who knows?
Who we playing? Ravens? I think if Burrow is saying like he was, we were talking about this, how Burrow in his press conference, he's like, I'm going to go out there and be perfect.
I don't care about Burrow's press conferences. That dude, I hate when he talks.
Really?
Yeah. He just gives you the quarterback answer. So it's just kind of boring to watch his
That's
press.
true.
That's like Zach Taylor in his press conference. This is boring.
It's the same shit.
Yeah, it's
week.
every week, same shit. I don't even tune in.
Yeah,
What different details?
I just see the clips going through Twitter.
What kind of different details are you gonna give you from the week before?
Yeah.
Again, like what are the keys to like when they ask bro, like what you got to focus on this year? Oh, just being better.
Yeah, we gotta get.
That's
better.
the typical pro sports response.
Yep.
We don't have any Allen Iversons anymore.
No, no, we don't. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you 5 quarterbacks.
Five quarterbacks.
Blind rank them.
Blind rank 5 quarterbacks.
All right. First quarterback, Eli Manning. 1, 3, or 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You know,
This is tough because I don't know who's next.
You know, he's
I
got
like
2
Eli.
Super Bowls.
I like Eli. I thought Eli had a really good career.
He has 2 Super Bowls.
I'm gonna put him at 4 just because I don't know
4.
who the rest are.
All right. Number 2, Phillip Rivers. He has all the accolades, like all this. He has a bunch of stats.
If I put Eli at 4, I gotta put Phillip Rivers at 5.
That's your decision. All right. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
All right. Number 3, Matt Ryan.
I'll stick with 3. 3 for Matt Ryan.
Carson Palmer.
Are we going off talent wise or career wise here?
It's whatever you want.
Talent wise, I don't know who's next, but so far I like talent wise. I like Phillip Rivers at 5. Talent wise, I like Eli Manning at 4, and talent wise, I like Matt Ryan at 2 or at 3. Carson Palmer, really talented quarterback, super talented quarterback, had a cannon, and red defense as well. I just don't know who's next. I mean, I got to put Palmer at 2.
All right. So your number 1 spot. At 5, you had Phillip. At 4, you had Eli. 3, you had Matt Ryan. 2, you had Palmer. Number 1 is Joe Flacco.
I like that. I mean, that's fine.
The reason I brought this up and I wanted to do this was because at work, my buddies were like talking about, they were like, rank these 3, Eli, Phillip, and Matt. So I had to add in 2 more. But they were saying, like, I told them I would take Phillip. No, I said Phillip is the guy that has like the stats because he played so long. And I said Eli has the Super Bowl rings and Matt Ryan has the MVP. So I was like, they all kind of rank like
Matty Ice was it though.
Yeah.
Like Matty Ice was good for a while.
Yeah. I don't hate your list. I like it.
Ethan said Eli Manning is my GOAT. Stanley
Is
said
he
Carson
still a
was
Giants fan or what?
I don't know.
He used to be the big Giants fan. Only when Odell was
Stanley
there.
said Carson was amazing till his knees got blown out, which is true. And even after that, yeah, he was still amazing. He had 2015. He had that
Cardinals year
conference championship run
Cardinals, yeah.
with the Cardinals, and he was second in MVP voting that year, second
Something
or third.
crazy like that. Yeah.
I think Rodgers won it that year. Was it 20? Yeah, I think Rodgers won it.
Mm-hmm. I might start
Great
doing
shit.
those little fun things. Yeah.
Blind rankings.
Gives us some stuff to put on TikTok and stuff.
Okay, I can get one real quick for you.
All right.
Blind rankings.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
AJ Green.
These are all the receivers, obviously.
Yeah, these are receivers.
AJ was a dog in his prime. It was just like him and Julio
Mm-hmm.
were like the top 2 in the league at the time, I would say. I'm gonna put AJ at 2.
AJ at 2.
I don't know who you got.
Okay,
So
Julio
I'm kinda nervous.
Jones.
Julio's 1.
Julio at 1.
Yeah. I don't know who else you got, so I'm kind of nervous.
AB.
Oh, AB was such a dog in his prime, man. I gotta put AB 3 because I would put.
Yeah, see, this is why I don't like shooting number 1 first,
yeah.
or like
then you're
first
screwed
2,
the rest of the list.
because I do like AJ at 2 or 3 and Julio at 2 or 1.
So that, like, obviously my list is still my list, but right now I would probably have AJ at 3, AB at 2, Julio 1. Probably.
Julio 1, but right now you have Julio, AJ, AB.
Yeah.
Okay. Larry.
Yeah. Larry. Oh my God. Looks like I'm going 4.
Yeah, you got it. I could
Here's
really,
my 5.
I could really ruin it for you and say Megatron
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm thinking of receivers from that era. I'm not going to. I'm gonna say Donald Driver.
Driver.
You 5.
That's an easy
I
5.
had to make it easy for you right there.
Oh,
I really
man.
did.
Dang. That was a hard
I'm
one.
sorry for that one.
No,
Yeah.
it was just like the AJ love, him and Julio in that time. I mean, I guess AB too.
I was trying to think of receivers from that era.
That was a great era.
Okay, let's blind rank Bengals receivers.
Just to get
Actually, not even blind rank. Let's just rank Bengals receivers in order, 1 through 5.
Order?
Top 5 of all time. Would you put Jamar, AJ, or Carl Pickens at 1?
I'm putting AJ at 1 right now. Right now. Give
You're giving AJ number 1
right now. Give Jamar like a year or two more, and he'll be at number 1. I think.
Now, if we really want to get into it, could say T.O. for number 1. But
give me AJ. Who else did you say? Sorry.
Carl Pickens, Isaac Curtis. I mean, guys like that. Yeah, Ocho. Man,
it's hard.
If we're going strictly off,
Ocho has a lot of our career records.
Going strictly off Bengals' career, not like actually like what I think. I'll give you my potential. Also, I'll put Jamar at 1.
So you didn't say potential.
Well, I mean, it's just I add that in for my list.
Yeah,
I'll put Jamar at 1, Green at 2,
obviously Jamar
Ocho
at
at 3.
1. I think Jamar is obviously going to be number 1. But now,
and it's the 13-year-old, in my heart that still loves AJ Green. It's just hard to say that.
Yeah, I wish when he went to Arizona, he still would have.
People my brother's age, they're 14 right now. They love Jamar.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you guys just don't understand, man. Like, wait until you're 24 and your favorite receiver of all time, the guy that got you to love football, leaves. He's gone. No more.
Yep.
Retired.
Goes to Arizona to retire.
Yeah, that's like people don't understand like my love for Andy Dalton sometimes. Like you gotta understand. Like I started watching football when I was
that was like our prime.
I really started to get into football when I was 10 and 11 years old.
Actually getting into it.
Like my first game was the Bills comeback against the Bengals when they had Carson Palmer and Ocho and T.O. My second game after that was the Ravens game with Andy Dalton and AJ Green. And then from that moment, like it was Andy Dalton, AJ Green for the first 13 years of me watching football. 12 years of nothing but AJ Green and Andy Dalton. So like I grew
12.
Well, they got drafted in 11.
And then
Burrow's drafted in 2020.
That's what I'm saying. So it was
we got 9 of Andy and 10 of
it's like
AJ.
A decade.
Yeah, the whole decade of those guys.
Yeah,
it's hard to move on.
I love that decade.
Like Giovanni Bernard, another running back I loved watching. Ray Maluga, another Geno Atkins.
Reggie Nelson.
Like these guys, like were our guys. I was like, when we talk to older people, they're like, oh yeah, like Boomer and Ken and Keely Smith and Jeff Blake and Tim Krumrie. Like you have those guys, and each as you're growing up watching football, you become attached to players that kind of fade out, and we're learning that right now
for sure.
Like
that whole era of quarterbacks, the Brady, the Big Ben, the Flacco,
and the crazy part is we only appreciate for Brady for half of his career.
Rivers.
Isn't that nuts?
Like all those quarterbacks.
As much as we love Tom Brady, we only appreciate half of his career because that's really all we watched.
He started in what?
He started in 2000.
Yeah, that's it.
Was his first year. Was in 2000. We were born in 2000.
Yeah,
so it's like
that's crazy.
Like we found love for Tom Brady on his second half of his career. Peyton Manning, he was drafted in 99 or 98. And we found love for Peyton Manning for the 5-6 years we got to really watch him play. Drew Brees, I found love for Drew Brees when I was young because of Madden 11. And you see those guys kind of fade out and you get these young bucks in here like Jane Daniels and Lamar, and you're like, these guys they ain't those guys. But as you see how the NFL progresses, you're like, you know what? They aren't those guys. Like there aren't processors like that's why I like Joe Burrow so much. Is he's a processor.
He's like I wouldn't say old school, but like more like those guys we really watch. Like nowadays, you don't really see too many.
Another reason why I like Baker Mayfield, like he plays with a chip. Like guys that play with a chip and grit and can process things like that, you just love watching. Like I don't care about finesse or using your legs. Besides Mike Vick, I did love watching Mike Vick growing up. But again, Mike Vick had a lot more talented of an arm than Lamar. And also Lamar plays for the Ravens.
Yeah, no.
I remember during the offseason, I was praying he'd go to a different team because I really do want to root for Lamar and I can't.
And when he was at Louisville, I loved watching.
That's it sucks for me to say Patrick Mahomes is the number 1 quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Because he really is.
Chiefs, Ravens.
Talented. Like it sucks saying that because those are your rivals.
Yep.
And it's like our parents, they hate the Steelers. I don't give a shit about the Steelers.
Yeah, they haven't really done. They've always been winners. Like since
they've been rivals to us, but here recently it's the Chiefs and Ravens for us.
Browns kick.
Browns, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They can beat our ass. We're going to be the only 2 wins of the season.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
Ravens, though, we talk shit to them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're horrible on Twitter. It's kind of like the fan beef. It's just not even just like player beef. Like I love Lamar a lot more if Ravens fans didn't do what they said and everything. Like, and he didn't get the media presence he did, and all the hate Joe Burrow gets. I'm kind of contradicting myself with some of my comments from earlier, but I mean, I would like Lamar if he wasn't a Raven.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me and Gary were big Lamar guys when he was at Louisville, especially Gary.
Well, see, I wasn't that big of a fan of
I
Lamar.
loved watching his highlights.
I'll tell you why.
Because he ran a lot more.
No, because I was a big Baker Mayfield fan, and you
That's
know
true.
this. I was a fucking huge Baker. I still am a huge Baker Mayfield fan.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Baker are the reason why I love football so much.
Was Cleveland the issue? Do you think Baker's like always, or do you think like Canales?
No, well, the problem with Baker in Cleveland towards the end, he hurt his
sternum. No, that's
sternum. I think it was a sternum.
I think it was something like that.
He got hurt. And he couldn't throw. It was a shoulder.
Something
injury.
with your shoulder.
You know, he went to the Panthers. He had to play defensive line in practice.
Went to the Rams for 1 week. And
went to the Rams for 48 hours.
That was sick, and he won the game.
I'm like, he's alive. And then he went to the Buccaneers, and I'm like, this is epic.
This is the Baker we've
because I mean we were friends during that end of Baker Mayfield in college. Yeah. I mean, I wore number 6 in flag football because of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
and I loved how he played football.
Mm-hmm.
And then looking at those Oklahoma teams, you're like, holy shit, Joe Mixon on our team for a while. Joe Mixon was running back. Orlando Brown now, Cody Ford now on the Bengals. They were on those Oklahoma teams.
Yeah.
See, that just makes you feel old.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I watched this when I was 17, and now these guys are 5, 6, 7-year vets, 8-year vets. And you're like, it's crazy shit. That's like, I kind of hate talking to my dad about the Bengals anymore because he's like, he kind of lived through the Brown bag days and all the shit eras, and he's like, this team's garbage, blah, blah, blah.
Anytime like games like the first couple of weeks.
And it's like,
so far.
I get it because the Bengals have hurt him so much over the years. And like the Reds too, he doesn't even root for the Reds anymore. Like it just hurt him so much to the point to where it's like hard to. I got to that point with the Reds too. Like the Terry Francona hiring didn't even like move me. I mean, it did, but like this front office is just so bad.
Hopefully that
bad.
Hopefully that hiring means that we're gonna.
Yeah, and the more I read about like his hiring, and the more I do, I'm like, okay, we might have a good team because he's gonna set these players on high standards.
Wants us to actually bring in some people, I think.
Yeah, and we better bring in.
They could have been all talk and just said what they he wanted to hear.
Yeah,
but I'm hoping they makes our front office bring in some people like a Santander from Baltimore, somebody with the fucking power bat or something. I don't know. I want somebody here.
Okay.
What are you looking up?
I looked up blind ranking players, football players.
Blind ranking football players.
All right, Peyton Manning, 1 through 5.
Well, I'm gonna learn from last time, and I'm gonna put him at 3, even though I love Peyton Manning. It's gonna be a bunch of
Devontae Adams.
What?
It's different. It's different. It's different positions.
This is obviously off their whole career.
I'm guessing, yeah.
DA was a dog.
Yeah, the first couple years of Aaron Rodgers and shit like that was crazy.
I'm gonna put him at 2. I love DA.
See, putting DA over Peyton Manning's crazy, bro. That's nuts.
But I love DA.
Max Crosby. I'm just gonna put him at 5 for you.
Yeah, what the heck?
Stephon Diggs. I'll go ahead and put him at 4.
Yeah, he was
number 1.
I would put him at 4.
Oh, hell yeah. Steve Smith Sr.? Fuck yeah, dude.
It's just like a website that generated.
Yeah, it's just blind ranking.
That was awful.
Blindrank.net is
that was
what
awful.
it is. But Steve Smith Sr., dude?
So now I probably
I'd hit the grit he played on. Hey, buddy, when you're back.
So now I would have probably put Peyton at 1. DA at 2. Steve Smith was a dog at 3.
Oh, nobody on my cords.
What was it, Max and
Stephon?
Yeah, I would have been Max and Stephon.
Stephon
Stephon was good, but no.
Bro's going crazy. Guess you Chantel's home.
She's been home.
Oh.
Took him out.
Oh. I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Well, that's an hour show. We're gonna wrap it up there. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys like the studio. If you guys could, please donate to the Red Cross for hurricane relief, or buy our merch, our profits are going towards that anyways.
Leave a like.
If you go to our Twitter account, or if you know me or Colton, just hit us up and we can send you the link to our merchandise shop. It's not, we're working on a hat still. We do have stickers and a pet tag and shirts and stuff like that. We are working on other designs, but like I said, the profits from that will go to the Red Cross for hurricane relief. We will be back very soon with
maybe
I'm thinking what day next week?
Yeah.
Saturday again, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't think we have anything going on.
Make sure you like, subscribe to our YouTube. We're on the road to 200 subs.
Yep.
144.
Follow our Twitter if you can. Spread the love. And we'll see you guys later.
Peace.